Hello everybody, it's Stevie again. This is a little short video on the power of sunlight. Yes, believe it or not, the sunlight has some incredible powers which we all need to tap into on a regular basis, because the sunlight or the UV radiation that comes from the sun creates vitamin D, and it's the only natural vitamin on this planet that's has also an amazing healing power. Now, if you go back to 1920, there was a prevalent disease known as Rickets, which was very common, and especially in young children, because they weren't often exposed to the sunlight, and a lot of young children ended up basically living indoors, and over time they developed this disease called Rickets, where their bones were deformed. Now luckily vitamin D was invented around this particular time, and the researchers got to know the benefits of being exposed to the sunlight, and obviously in moderation. Now, if I told you some statistics, you might get an understanding why I put this video together, because the research is showing that over 1 billion people around the world are suffering from vitamin D deficiency. Now, when you're deficient in vitamin D, all sorts of problems occur in your cells in your body, and that can create illness or serious disease. So what are the signs and signals you need to look for if you think you've got vitamin D deficiency? There's quite a few little symptoms you should be aware of, things like moodiness, mild depression, aching bones, sickness, increased excessive sweating of the forehead especially, and your sleeping patterns may be not very normal. So what are the risk factors associated with vitamin D deficiency? Well, obviously I just mentioned disease, and sickness and disease is a common trigger when we have a person with vitamin D deficiency. There's also increased risk of cancers, especially low-lying cancers such as breast cancer and prostate cancer in males. And obviously the elderly are susceptible because they have the onset of osteoporosis, where there's a lack of calcium in their bone structures. One of the amazing things about vitamin D is it creates calcium in your body. So it has some amazing benefits if you can continue to be exposed to the sunlight on a regular basis. But why is this vitamin D deficiency occurring around the globe? Well, a very famous researcher, and Dr. Holick, is now based in the USA, and is an Australian who's written a lot of research papers and also books on the power of vitamin D. And he says that obviously many people now are spending too much time indoors, and especially on the work situation, people cannot get access to sunlight on a regular basis. And in some hemispheres around the world, they go to work, they come home, they never really see any sunlight at all. Another factor is why deficiency occurs is because of diet. Specifically, the Western diet is predominantly geared around fatty foods, saturated fat, high toxic foods and beverages, salt, sugar, and all these things in their own way, in their own silent way, can cause vitamin D to become deficient in your body. Another factor is laziness. I'm a lucky man to be obviously exposed to some of the greatest beaches in the world here in West Australia, and here, as you can see, my backdrop is a place called Turquoise Bay, and I'm sure you can understand the reason why it got its name. But I spend at least 15-20 minutes a day, if I can. If the sunlight is strong enough, I just expose half of my body to the sun, and this will be 15-20 minutes at the most each day. And one of the beauties of it, it doesn't cost you anything. The other problem is why vitamin D deficiency occurs is because sun cream. Now, people in some parts of the world, especially here in Australia, are regularly informed to slip, slop and slap. Put the sunscreen on, get the hats on, get the sunglasses on, stop all the potential sunburn happening. Yes, that's a very valid point. But the sunscreen also stops vitamin D coming naturally from the UV radiation of the sun. So in a sense, you're blocking the sun and the vitality out of your blood system because you're putting sunscreen on as a barrier. So what are the benefits to moderate exposure to the sunlight each day? Well, number one, it reduces depressed modes. If you're feeling a little bit down and anxious and depressed and stressed and overwhelmed with your work or whatever it might be, your family life or other pressures and stressors, it's important that you break away from these incidences in life and you get onto the beach, or you go to your local park or somewhere close by where you can just enjoy the sunlight. The vitamin D also boosts your immune system. So if you've got an illness or you're struggling with a specific cancer, for instance, the treatment side of things can make you quite depressed, and it's also very important to try and break away and get the mindset into a mode of thinking where you can get out in the sunlight, enjoy the sunshine for at least 10 or 15 minutes a day. It also regulates your insulin levels, which is an important thing to know. And it also acts as an anti-inflammatory, and you consider that most diseases revolve around inflammation in the cells in the body. Then vitamin D actually reduces inflammation. So here we have a wonderful vitamin, or a hormone as it's more so known as, that can reduce inflammation in your body and hence prevent the onset of disease or put a halt to some of the potential diseases that you're experiencing. Question is, how else can you get this vitamin D? Now, sunshine and the power of the sunlight produces about 90% of the vitamin D on this planet. The rest you can get from supplements, and that needs to be obviously talked with your local doctor in case you have any allergies. But you can also get it from food sources like mainly fish, and potentially from behind me if you go fishing like I do. Your vitamin D basically is its habitat is this ocean here. Things like herring, sardines, salmon, tuna, cod liver oil, and even raw maitake mushrooms have a high level of vitamin D, which you should consider supplementing your diet each day. And preferably, if you can work your way into the Mediterranean diet, you have a lot more chance of bolstering or maintaining your vitamin D levels in your body. So sunshine is healthy, but you need to avoid sunburn. Yes, I agree. But you don't need to avoid the sunshine. And this is your friend, your ally. The sunlight, the sun UV radiation rays produce vitamin D from the sun rays into your skin, into your bloodstream, which travels through to your liver and your kidneys and stores itself. And that's the amazing thing about vitamin D. It stores itself in your body until you need it, just like putting petrol in a car. The petrol's always going to be there until you need it, and the same occurs with vitamin D. And that's all you need, is to be exposed to the sunlight on a regular basis each day. It doesn't have to be purely sunny like it is today. Sometimes it can be a little bit overcast, but the sun UV radiation still comes into your body and starts to produce vitamin D naturally, which also increases the calcium in your body, which can help especially the elderly people to prevent osteoporosis or bone damage or fractures. So one thing you can take away from this video today is that the sunshine is free. And like I say, Professor Michael Holick, who's the expert in vitamin D, has a very strong research experience in this area, and what he says, a small amount exposure each day for 10 or 15 minutes is adequate. Because he's an expert in medicine and physiology and biophysics, he also recommends 600 to 800 international units per day. And it's important to consult with your GP to get an understanding of your vitamin levels on a regular basis, and consult in regards to what you can take and how you can take and how it's going to affect you long term. Because you can get too much vitamin D and your body can become toxic, but it takes quite a lot of international units per day for that to occur. Now, why were the Honzas in the southern region of Pakistan and India so attuned to vitamin D as well? Because they were living in a part of the world where apricots and with their Honza gold, as they call, because they used to lay them out in the sun each day to get the sun rays from the sunlight into the fruit itself, and that became their staple diet. They knew very well about the power of vitamin D. So hopefully you can take this on board if you're suffering from some sort of illness, some moodiness, some depression, some anxiety, or you're feeling down or fatigued, or basically you're suffering from some sort of illness or disease. It's important that you start to break away and get some vitamin D on a regular basis. It's not called the sunshine hormone for no reason at all. It's called the sunshine hormone because it does wonders for your body, your mind and your spirit. And what a wonderful place this is. To give you a bit of a backdrop to what this lovely ocean views are here, I'll just turn you off onto the other side of the camera so you can see. And yes, look at this beautiful ocean here. Obviously there's many people who've got an understanding of what's going on, and yes, this is a beautiful part of the world here. This is my way of getting my vitamin D each day. If you're not as lucky as me to have a beach drop like the backdrop here, then get out in your local park, your recreation area, or just take a walk somewhere where you can get some peace and solitude and enjoy the sunshine. On that note, thank you for listening in, and hopefully you can take this information on board and adapt a lifestyle that can give you some benefits. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.